Hi, welcome to Best Friends. We've got some great cats and dogs to show you today. Hey, remember last time I talked to you about this stuff called upper respiratory infection? We call it URI. That's shelter speak for the same thing. The deal is that when we have cold nights and warm days, animals are more stressed than they usually are, and lo and behold, we ended up with an outbreak of upper respiratory infection in the shelter, primarily because our fans went out and we didn't know it, the ones that go to our great big air handling systems on the roof. And so we have been through quite the episode with aprons and gloves for everyone who is looking at a cat. We're right at the end of that now. We're looking good. Nobody has the sniffles. No one is sneezing, except maybe the staff. That doesn't count. Anyway, the thing is that I have been through years here where we go back and forth. So prepare yourself. If you come to visit our cat area, you may be asked to gown up and glove up. It's a nuisance, I know that, but it makes our animals so much healthier that please work with us on this. It's very important. Okay, first kitty of the day. This little guy is 8 weeks old. I'm going to hold him instead of putting him down on the towel because that way I know you can see his adorable little face. Yes, our volunteer says if you have furniture with upholstery or curtains, that you're either going to have to give this guy some latitude or perhaps you don't want this kitty. I can't see very many houses without some kind of soft stuff to sit on, so I'd rather imagine that you're just going to have to bear with him. That, and we'll show you how to clip claws so they don't catch in the furniture. He is full of energy and he will make you laugh. Can you hear him purring? Because I can. This is Frankie. Frankie is a neutered male. Frankie was working at getting his Associate of Arts from South Puget Sound Community College, and we don't know if he flunked out or didn't have the money for tuition or exactly what was going on, but that's where he came from. Anyway, he is huge. This kitty is easily 18 to 20 pounds and solid muscle. He is an absolutely adorable guy. Loves little kids. If you have little kids in your home, this would be a great cat for you. Obviously, they're not going to be picking him up and hauling him around much because he is a lot of cat. But he is very confident, very comfortable with kids, not worried about his various body parts getting squished by them. He's a beautiful cat. He's short-haired, brown tabby, as you can see, and just a sweetheart of a guy. I think he's probably been around the block a few times. He's got a notch out of his ear, but absolutely a lovely, lovely cat. And he has a 3/4 length tail too, with a notch or two in it. I don't think this is from injury. I think he was just born that way. These two are siblings. They came in together. I know they look like night and day, but they're two boys that get along very well together. So if you're interested in adopting like two cats, this might be a great couple. They're quite young, definitely I'd say probably around 6 or 7 months. And they are really hilarious to watch. The interaction between these two guys is really amazing. But no matter how they tussle in their cage, they always curl up together to sleep. And one or the other of them always is touching the other one. When they sleep, there'll be the orange one's paw on the black one's back, or vice versa. It's just like they need the assurance of knowing that the other one is really there. And yet, during the daytime, they act like any brothers do, getting along sometimes and sometimes not. So if you were considering 2 cats, this might be a very appropriate match for you. Beautiful cats. This is a silver tabby, very young male, very affectionate cat. In his condo, even if he is sound asleep, as soon as you open the door, he'll flip over on his back for tummy rubs and come up to you to make sure he gets his share of attention. He's beautiful. His fur is so soft, and his markings are lovely too. He has the tabby striping, and then along his back and on his tail, it's the solid silver. Sometimes cats that are this color get a little darker as they grow older, and that's really a lovely color. It's more like pewter, and really beautiful. What a sweet guy. This one too strikes me as a cat that you might have around younger children without much of a concern. Very willing to make human contact. I think you might actually need to be close up and personal to appreciate this cat. Her colors are so incredibly subtle. She is actually a tortoiseshell or a torbie, a dilute though. And so her fur is a tweed-like mixture of charcoal gray, apricot, and cream. And they're also called blue cream torbies. And her fur is medium length on her body and then quite long on her tail. But the overall effect is just beautiful. She's a very pretty girl. Now this is one I would not recommend in a family with small children. She's going to need a household that is a little quieter, a little more predictable than what you get when you add little kids into the stew. With this kitty, we have a similar color pattern to the one that we were just looking at. Not as much cream in this one, a shorter coat, slightly darker, and that shorter coat makes all the difference in the way they look. This is a tortoiseshell, a dilute or blue cream tortie, and as you can see, very loving. Oh yes. Again, kind of a nervous, wary cat, although she really enjoys attention and company and petting, but may not work real well in a household that is less predictable and routine. Although she seems to be just fascinated with the rat that's at the end of the counter. So we may have quite a huntress here. Maybe we should name her Athena, or whoever it is that is such a great hunter. Oh gosh. Let's call this one aggressively affectionate. This is kind of unusual. We do not often see orange tabby females, but this one is. Lovely patterns with the little white slippers and the white throat, and very, very playful. If you need a kitty to keep mice under control in your pantry, I expect this one will do it. Of course, one of those double-edged swords is if you get a cat that is brilliant at catching mice, they also knock things off shelves and so forth, but that's okay because it's the bigger picture, don't you know? This little beauty is only about 2 months old, 8 weeks. Isn't she cute? Oh, what a sweetheart. This little girl was found at the post office. We don't know if she was mailing invitations for a birthday party or exactly what she was doing. Buying stamps, maybe. She is beautifully marked. A tuxedo, medium hair, bordering on long hair, actually, but a fantastic coat. It doesn't mat. It is just as soft as silk. And she is, again, we are getting our share of kitties that I'm pretty sure would be excellent mousers. Of course, if it's an excellent mouser, it's also likely to be an excellent birder. And so these are cats that you would want to have inside. Otherwise, you're going to be impacting your neighborhood bird population. And of course, I would prefer that you not do that. But at the same time, she is going to be fascinated. If you have a bird feeder outside a window or something, I'm sure that she would just be hanging out watching those all day long when she wasn't chasing toys around the living room floor. Isn't she beautiful? And has such a luxurious tail. I think it's funny because there are some cat enthusiasts that just are so conscious of how well furred or how graceful a cat's tail is, and indeed it's a very important part of the cat, but this one has just an exceptionally long and very bushy tail. Isn't that nice? Actually, her coat just in general is absolutely beautiful. Yes, you're a very pretty girl. Love your white whiskers. Again, we have a little boy kitten that's black and white. Our volunteer was saying that he was going trick-or-treating as Charlie Chaplin. He has a cute little mustache and definitely has an interesting patterning to him, plus the fact that he has a tail that's 3/4 length and hooked on the end. People often think that they got their tail closed in a door or something. That isn't the case, although that can happen, I guess. But this is just a DNA thing, and we often see cats that have crooks or curves in their tails, and shortened tails too. It's just something that they're born with. He is absolutely focused on the rats. Oh my goodness. Another kitty that's very rodent oriented. Of course, it's true that the rats are currently trying to eat their paperwork, and so it's pretty interesting. The paper is rattling. And so he is very focused. Could you at least look at the camera? There. That's better. Thank you. Handsome, handsome little boy. This is Lola the Lop. Of course, she's a rabbit. We actually have 2 rabbits named Lola right now. One of them is a lion head, and then there is this one. Lola the Lop is supposed to be especially good with children, and even likes rides in the car, which strikes me as being kind of odd for a rabbit. But there you go, each to their own. Anyway, Lola the Lop would make an excellent house bunny. She does really enjoy human attention. She loves spinach treats. She is just a very personable bunny. We really like her, and she is beautiful. Look at this lovely silvery gray pelt and her lovely little wiggly nose. I highly recommend rabbits as pets. Often kids that are allergic to dogs and cats can have rabbits, and rabbits have as much personality as dogs or cats, but of course in a very rabbity way. So you have to do a bit of reading, get to know them. In other countries, rabbits are more popular than dogs and cats as pets. In England, they have a very popular house rabbit society, and the United States has house rabbit societies as well. Just an excellent choice as pet. Well, with that, Lola the Lop, would you stay with us, please, and join us outside in our Get Acquainted area to meet our dogs. We've got some real cuties today. This is a puppy, clearly. She is 3 months old. She is obviously a girl. I wouldn't be calling her she. Very lively. Gets along well with other dogs. Is currently in with another puppy that's totally unrelated, and they do beautifully together. She is a funny looking little thing. She looks sort of like an otter hound with very short legs. I don't know what she's going to look like when she grows up, but I can tell you that growing up is going to involve a lot more size because her paws are huge, or maybe she'll grow up to be a very small dog with huge paws. You never really know. But generally speaking, you can tell that the growth plate is got a lot of room there. So this is going to be a great little dog. She definitely is going to need training. Would not recommend her with young children. She is nippy. That's because she is a baby herself. And yet there are some dogs that kind of come with an inhibition against that sort of behavior. This one doesn't have it. In fact, I have to be very careful giving her treats because she has very sharp little puppy teeth. And while she means absolutely no harm, still with a child, she could inflict some damage, and you don't want that to happen ever. Isn't she precious? We've had this little one up running around our front office because she's so much fun. So she has had quite a bit of socialization. And I can tell you with authority that she is not anywhere close to housebroken. This one is probably the most incredibly stinking cute puppy I have seen in years. He's a little boy. He's only about 3 months old. His teeth are almost non-existent because he is such a baby. But he's a big baby. And somebody cared about him. I mean, his coat is groomed. but we have not had anyone come forward. It isn't like it's going to be any problem at all to find a good home for him. That isn't it. But he is just precious and loving. Great personality. Again, I would not recommend a puppy with a baby. Let me put it that way. Unsupervised, dogs play, even if they are doing their level best, is just not safe for a child because neither of them really know what they're doing yet. And so I really recommend that kind of play be very closely supervised. We don't know for absolutely certain what this little guy is in terms of breed, but whatever it is, it's all adorable. Just so cute. And it's going to be not a tiny dog. You know, people see a fluffy little white dog and they think that it's going to stay that way. And that's not going to happen here. He probably is going to be at minimum a medium-sized dog. This chunk of muscle here is named Roxy. Roxy, as you can see, is a pit bull. She is an absolutely peaches and cream pit bull. She is so sweet. Just a lovely dog. But with all of our bully breeds, we require a fence, and we require that they have no other same-sex dogs in the home, because gender aggression is a big problem with pits or with any of the bully breeds. And we want to place a dog in a situation that is going to be as successful as possible for the dog and for her people as well, of course. They do have a high prey drive. They will chase anything that's moving, and that might be a squirrel, yes, but it might also be a jogger or kids on a bicycle. And the thing is that often dogs don't intend any harm to the toy that they're chasing, but harm can occur if somebody quits running and the dog wants them to run. Then you know, they will nip, and that's not what it's about. We don't want that kind of behavior to even being given a chance to develop. Roxy is very strong. Going through training with her would be a primo idea, practically required, but at the same time, she is just a wonderful dog. We're very careful with our pits that we place for adoption, and this one is just supremely nice. Yes, she is. She's just a lovely dog. Has a great easy care short coat. Pits need to be indoor dogs. In the winter, they can't tolerate the kind of cold that we have here and wet. They don't have that much protection. They can't grow it. And so if she were my dog, I'd even see to it that during the coldest time of the year, she had a sweater on just to stay warm. No point in a dog being uncomfortable at all. So if you are set up and you're interested in this breed, come see us. We will do a fence check, and as I said, we won't place her in a home that has another female dog, because that could just lead to disaster. As sweet as she still is who she is, and you have to take that into account. Okay. If you want an incredibly active dog, one that is also going to go with you running or hunting or whatever, I have no idea whether this dog actually hunts, but he is a lab. So a retriever, you know, you would think. Who knows, though. Charlie is incredibly active. He absolutely adores a tennis ball. He will do almost anything for a ball. I think probably his drive is sufficient that he could be trained to do search and rescue, although he's a little old to start that. And yet he is, just generally speaking, a very sweet dog. It's just that he's very involved with his tennis ball. And as long as we're holding a tennis ball, we have his complete attention. If you're not holding a tennis ball, yeah, you know, you can be there or not be there. Anyway, he is a lab. He would go through training with you and probably do very well. He's very food motivated, which is excellent. And this is what he is. He's a chocolate lab, and if you're interested in a chocolate lab, come see us, because he's a cool guy. Okay, Sadie is an Australian Shepherd, maybe a mix, maybe not totally Aussie. She had an owner who was had to be hospitalized, and so the owner had 2 dogs here with us, and one of them she took with her, and one she left with us, mostly because of her reduced circumstances. It didn't have anything to do with the dog or the dog's behavior. Sadie is a lovely dog. She is a herding breed with all that that implies, and is very alert, is capable of bonding very tightly with her human, will probably be a good family dog, but has been a dog for a single person, and would do very well in that environment too. She's older. I think she's already spayed, and yet she has an awful lot of love and time left to give to a deserving owner. This is Max. Max is a dachshund, and although he's a very unusual color for a dachshund, and he is kind of nervous. I mean, that's the way Doxies are, the mini Doxies, and yet very capable of forming very close attachments and being a wonderful indoor dog. Just a sweet little boy. Anyway, Max is not neutered, I don't believe, and he is available for adoption. Want him to go to a family that is all adult. You do not want this boy in a home with small children at all. He's very nervous, and it's the kind of dog I generally describe as an exposed nerve with hair. But beyond that, in a small household with adults, he's going to be a great pet. Yes, he's a sweet boy. Yes, just kind of shaky. Very shaky, yes. Okay, I think this is the last dog that we have for you today. Come see us. We're at 3120 Martin Way. Our hours are 9:30 to 5:30. Tuesday through Friday, and 9:30 to 4 o'clock on Saturdays. We do stop our adoptions a half hour before our closing time, so keep that in mind. And of course, of the animals that you have seen here, some of these are going to be adopted very quickly after the show is filmed, and may not be here when you arrive. So if you want to give us a call first, you're more than welcome to do that. If you have the time, though, come by, because often, even though it may not be the exact animal you saw on TV or on our website, we'll have another one that is just perfect for you. Sometimes it's almost like it was meant to be that way.